Meet Jack and Emily, a young married couple living in New York City who are facing financial difficulties. But their fortune changes when they're offered a house-sitting opportunity at an estate where, in exchange for a few months of menial tasks and upkeep, they'll be paid incredibly well and have all of their expenses covered. But as they settle in, Jack and Emily start to feel like there's something off. The townsfolk seem nice, but they're also a little bit peculiar. And there's something about the house that feels less like a home that's meant to be lived in and more like a cage that's meant to prevent something dangerous from escaping. That is the basic setup for the movie that I'm making. We're going to talk a little bit about the script and the setup in today's episode. Before we start, my sister actually told me that I should say this, and I think that's because she's a very intelligent person who's able to see things that I normally miss. I am a first-time writer. As a first-time writer, I'm not here to teach you how to do something that I've never done. I'm here to learn how to do something for the first time. And making these videos about what I'm learning as I'm learning it is actually what helps me internalize and retain the things that I am learning about the different areas of filmmaking, like screenwriting. Just wanted to get that clear from the get. So anyway, I thought it would be cool just to go through like a real-time problem with you guys. This is an actual problem that I'm currently facing. So last time I mentioned that I was finishing up my first draft, which was 195 pages, which is significantly over my initial target of trying to bring it in at 105 pages. Right now I spend about 20 to 25 pages just establishing who Jack and Emily are, where they are in their lives, why they're desperate, how they come across the opportunity to work at this estate, deciding to go to the estate, and then the actual drive there. It felt like the right thing to do as I was writing, to be very overt with establishing who Jack and Emily are, but now I'm realizing that's led to a pacing issue. The first act contains an excessive amount of establishing information that is relevant to the characters, but is the information in Act 1 actually relevant to the main plot line of the story? If not, what is the point of it? And I hate that. Writers out there, do you know this feeling where you just like, you have such a great idea that you love and it's like your baby and you're like, this is so beautiful, and then you realize it doesn't matter to the story and you're like, no. I guess that's why they have director's cuts, you know what I mean? Really, I'm realizing that what it is, I'm trying to avoid exposition as much as possible. And I think that's a healthy impulse, but maybe the fear of exposition is causing other problems. Problems that could be resolved through the appropriate application of a logical, organic piece of exposition. Man, everything is a trade-off when you're dealing with a time frame. I'm gonna quickly show you what I do at this point whenever I'm struggling with a problem. I look for movies that are very successful in the area where I'm struggling, which in this case would be Act 1. I'm gonna give you one example of a really successful opening to a movie that I think is just absolutely perfect. It probably wouldn't work to try to do something like what this movie does, but it's helpful to see how it's done in order to kind of shake loose, hey, in what ways could I make my opening more concise? So we're gonna take a quick look at the opening for the 2014 film Ex Machina. This is a masterful balance of information and pace. So here we have the title, and boom, we immediately open on an office space. It looks a little high-end, it looks a little high-tech, it's kind of a younger crowd, and right there, we're introduced to our main character, and bang, first prize. So all we know is he's won a competition, and we can tell by the shock on his face and the reaction of his friends and coworkers that whatever this is pretty significant. And bang, we are now flying over the remote parts of Alaska in a helicopter, and we get our first two pieces of dialogue, which are brilliant.
How long until we get to his estate? We've been flying over his estate for the past 2 hours.
But this is genius level storytelling. It might seem simple, but it's not. It's not easy to achieve simplicity. So we are literally 1 minute and 21 seconds into the film. We know exactly who we are, where we are, and what's happening. 81 seconds. It takes 81 seconds to tell you everything you need to know, and now the rest of this running time, we just go along for the journey. What I love, by the way, my sister actually bought me the script for Ex Machina. What's amazing is that little exchange, there's actually a 2-page scene between Caleb, the main character, and the helicopter pilot in the script, they either realized before they shot it or they realized when they were editing it. The audience doesn't need this whole 2-page conversation. All we need to know is whatever's about to happen, this is a really big deal. I need to do what was done here, establish who these people are and get right to the main story. That's what I need to fix. And I think I have a few ideas, so stay tuned. Anyway, what are your favorite movie openings? What's the best opening where you just think about it and you go, man, I love the way they open that and I'm totally on board for whatever comes next? I would love to hear your comments. Comment below and let me know. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and leave a like on your way out the door. Have a great weekend, everybody, and a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.